in college environment, it's really important to engage the civil debate or discussion on our campus, the healthy exchange of ideas. And in that sense, today we brought the two candidates who are running for the House of Representatives from the district represent the California State University Long Beach, and ask them to share their views of how they represent our community, and also have healthy exchange of their ideas so we can make better decision on this coming election day. Today's moderator is Dr. Ann Johnson. She's assistant professor from the Communication Studies Department, and she received her PhD from University of Massachusetts Amherst. And it was really short notice, but she graciously accepted to be a moderator today. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you Dr. Johnson, the moderator for today's meeting.
Well, I'd like to welcome the students and community members here. It's great to see such a turnout for a political event like this on campus. I'd like to briefly mention that we have a timekeeper today, Elena Macias, who is in government relations on our campus here. She'll be keeping time for the debate. I don't have much in the way of introductory remarks because each candidate has been asked to begin with an opening statement. So I figured I would let them introduce themselves as we go along. The only thing I wanted to mention is that Representative Rohrabacher is an alumnus of our campus, and so perhaps he has something specific to say about what he can bring to this part of the district. And so I'd like to invite the speakers. All right, so welcome. You'll hear a beeping. So don't be alarmed. All right, so let's begin with opening statements from Congressman Rohrabacher.
Well, it's good to be back at Long Beach State College. I graduated here in 1969. Before that, I went to Harvard Junior College and graduated from Albuquerque High School in 1965.
Louder, Darren.
Louder? I'll try to talk as loud as I can. All right. Anyway, I do feel that this is my home turf. I went to high school and college here and worked in this area as a journalist. I worked for the Orange County Register prior to going with Ronald Reagan to the White House in 1980, and worked with him there as a senior speechwriter and special assistant to the president until 1988, when I was elected here in 1988, and I've been a congressman ever since. During those years, I've been very active on a number of issues. Right now, I'm a senior member of the International Relations Committee. I'm the chairman of a subcommittee dealing with oversight and investigation. I was primarily responsible for the investigation into the oil for food scandal at the United Nations that you heard about a year and a half ago when most of the information was coming out. I've also been very active in the Science Committee. I'm a senior member of the Science Committee and was chairman of the subcommittee that deals with space and aeronautics for 8 years. Had a great deal to do with space policy. I've been very involved with, for example, developing a commercial application to space technology, meaning we develop things commercially rather than just depending on NASA and the bureaucracy and federal programs to bring us into space. I've been very involved in that in developing, for example, space solar power, which is a source of energy which I believe that with the foundation that we've laid and the need for energy in the future will probably in 10 to 20 years actually come to fruition and provide Earth with some clean energy that it needs, and we'll be doing it because of the things that I'm doing. We're doing it with private sector money and making a profit doing it rather than trying to have NASA do it, taking a lot longer and costing a lot more. I have been deeply involved, as you know, in supporting the war effort, war against radical Islam, and I have been supporting the President's efforts in Iraq and believe that we have to make sure that what policies we put in place in terms of Iraq are put there and we implement them in a way that will not embolden America's enemies to make them think that we've been defeated and are retreating, which will lead to more bloodshed in the long run. Finally, I have been very involved, as you know, in the issue of illegal immigration. I've been involved in that issue for about 15 years because once I was elected to Congress, it became very evident to me that if we give government benefits to illegals, provide them jobs, that we can expect tens of millions of people to come here illegally from other countries. And that's exactly what has happened. And if we are going to prevent that from becoming just 20 million illegal immigrants who are here, instead of we're going to prevent that from just quadrupling in the next decade, what we have to do is make sure that we cut off benefits to illegals so that those government programs that are meant for American citizens are used for American citizens, and deny jobs to illegals and strengthen our border. If we do that, we don't need massive deportations, because people who are here illegally will tend to come home or go home because of attrition, and people who would be attracted here normally to get those benefits and jobs won't come. So that's my basic approach on those issues today. But what we have to decide on are, when you're voting, are basically fundamental issues of security and fundamental issues of prosperity. How do we come about making people more prosperous, making sure that our people enjoy their lives in prosperity, making sure that our country is secure? I believe in a stronger approach than what I see coming from the Democratic Party. I think that that's the way that you have peace and prosperity, and you make sure that your enemies know that you are the toughest guy in the block. And I'm willing to back up our soldiers and give them what they need to get their job done. And in terms of prosperity, unlike the other party, we believe in a lower tax strategy. Over the last 10 years, and I have supported the Republican position that there should be about $1 trillion less that would have been taken out of the pockets of American people otherwise, had we not had our tax policies in place. I believe that's what's given us the prosperity that we have today. And while the deficit spending is still too high, if we didn't have the prosperity, that level of taxation and deficit spending would be higher, which would be unconscionable. Let me note that we have, as part of that $1 trillion that we didn't take to the American people, which averages out about, for a family of 4 over $50,000, it's $2,000 a year, that their taxes would be higher. For example, we have marriage tax penalty relief. But there's any number of earnings limitations for Social Security, child care tax credit, capital gains tax, and inheritance taxes. All of that affects you individually, and not just the rich, which we are told about. Because people who make over $50,000 doesn't make you rich in society. So with that said, I would hope that you would consider voting for me again, or voting for me the first time, because you would agree with me on the issues of security and prosperity. If you don't agree with me, I hope you vote for my opponent. He's a very distinguished person who I like very much. Thank you very much.